You've probably heard that today, the 30th of August, 2023, there has been a case which has changed Australian judicial history. And there has, because something's happened that's never happened before. That is, a judge has been sued in their personal capacity for a determination they made on the bench. I've been seeing a lot of misinformation floating around about this case, so I'm going to give you a succinct summary of what happened and explain why it's so important. Let's begin with the case and what it was about. Essentially, it was a property case where two unrepresented litigants, let's call them husband and wife, were going to challenge one another over property in a family law dispute. And so they appeared before a judge in that jurisdiction, and the judge thought that the husband was not being honest and providing full and frank disclosure of his documents. This is something you have to do. But the husband said, I am trying my best, people just won't give me what I'm asking for. So the judge says, if you don't get them to me, I will deal with this by way of contempt. Now that's a power the court has, but contempt is usually reserved for really egregious breaches. And there's a number of penalties the court has, ranging from a fine to a warning all the way through to jail. The next time they come before the court, the judge says, where's the papers? He says, I can't get them. He goes, okay, well, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you guys a few minutes to sort this out. And if you don't sort it out, I'm proceeding directly to a contempt hearing. So 5 minutes passes. They come back in. They say, we weren't able to figure it out. He goes, okay, no problem. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to now have this case in relation to contempt. Now, first, keep in mind, the judge firstly has to determine whether there was contempt, and secondly, issue a sentence. He does it the other way around. First thing he says to the guy is, he goes, hope you bought your toothbrush, which means he's already made up his mind. Judges can't do that. Anyway, determines this guy's committed contempt, and the guy is sentenced to custody. This guy, this poor guy, is taken from the court. He's transferred inside the prison system. He's threatened while in the van. It's horrible. This poor guy goes through hell. And so the High Court says that's an inappropriate use of the judge's powers. He shouldn't have done that. And this guy decides, Mr. Stafford, we don't know his name, it's a pseudonym to protect his identity, goes, what the judge did was unlawful. And the court has found that because the judge acted outside of his power to do so, he was responsible in a large part for the false imprisonment of this man, and therefore the judicial immunity that they're usually entitled to, he's not entitled to rely upon. Which means that there is an expectation that the judge will pay out of his own pocket, similar to the state, which is saying, well, we thought we were allowed to, a judge told us to. What this means is that if judges act extremely outside of the norm of what's appropriate, they may be held liable, which is not surprising. Any professional, lawyers included, should be held to that standard. And I imagine there'll be further appeals, but that's a quick summary of this case. And yes, it's changed the legal landscape. Follow me for more legal tips.